What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about SoFi. I want to go over some of the current data points, break it down on what really moved it, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So SoFi went down slightly, 0.85%, alongside many other growth stocks. 2077 the low, 2122 the high. SoFi did land on a very good support level. Not like it overly matters because tomorrow's going to be a crazy day with SoFi's earnings as well as a lot of data. So tomorrow we do have JOLT numbers and consumer confidence coming out at 9 a.m. And today we didn't really have all that much. So today the market for the most part was digesting what came out over the weekend. So a lot of tariff talk, and some of that was just an extension with China and a tentative Europe deal. At the same time, I think the market was also digesting a lot of comments made by Trump in regards to Powell, saying that he will be missed, alluding to that he will be gone soon. So I don't know, kind of crazy. I think that's what did take the market down slightly from at least the overnight highs from yesterday. But nonetheless, like I said, tomorrow should be a very, very interesting day based on SoFi's earnings. So because of the last couple of trading days, the implied move did change. So now there is a 8.37% implied move, and that is based on the options. So anticipate roughly like a $1.76 move in either direction being possible, but this is the highest SoFi has ever been going into a earnings. So that in among itself should always make for a very interesting time, because I know a lot of the bears always love to bring up SoFi's multiple, and with it being at these levels, I'm sure that might come into play tomorrow. But nonetheless, even if SoFi does hit a triple beat, so it gives good future guidance, possibly even raises guidance, hits earnings per share, revenue as well. Let's say they also give the tentative date for crypto and does announce level 1 for options. Let's say they give everything. Technically, the market still might hate on SoFi and bring it down. As what we've seen, every single one of these earnings, for the most part, has been a double or potentially even a triple beat. And sometimes the market just hates it and just brings it down. So don't be surprised if there is absolutely zero logic tomorrow, because that's just SoFi. Wall Street absolutely loves to hate on SoFi. And it was kind of funny because I was going to do this video and say, hey, this is like the first time we did not get a bearish rating 1 week before SoFi's earnings. But there was one guy that did surprise me, one individual, and that was this individual from BTIG, Vincent, who has a 45% success rating. Kind of funny that the day before SoFi's earnings, you decide to give a rating. No price target, just a hold rating, but based on their analysis, they do kind of have cautious optimism. So kind of having a level of doubt, but I found this absolutely just, I want to pull my hair out how like stupid this is. How any analyst in the right mind, let's say they make, I don't know, 120,000 estimate, of course, they give a rating on a stock the day before their fundamental earnings, when everything will change. So how logical is it that all these individuals making probably between, I'd say, I don't know, $80,000 to $150,000 over the last 2 weeks have decided to give ratings? It just does not make, I can't fathom that. It doesn't make sense. And I get it. A lot of analysts are just sheep. SoFi has been doing very well recently. So some try to slow down the momentum and some try to piggyback off of that. So it's kind of comical, but nonetheless, anticipate a whole new rush of new ratings tomorrow being posted probably after hours, or if not on Wednesday. But nonetheless, though, it's kind of funny that we did get that one rating. So 45%, this individual might as well just be working at McDonald's. But as far as what shorts did today, they didn't really do all that much. They returned 120,000 shares. So I think in reality, they are waiting for tomorrow. So they are going to make some pretty big moves. So depending on how things go, data point wise, they might be doubling, tripling, quadrupling down, or they might actually start to let up and start to do some real returning where it gets it back down to, let's say, that 10% range. But 11.67% right now is the free float that is being shorted. That works out to be 126.63 million shares overall being shorted. Looking at the options, we did have 46 million in calls, 16 million in puts. 47% of all the options being done today, though, were bearish in nature. From a bulls standpoint, there is a strong consensus still for it to be kind of around that $24 to $25 range, so pretty good stuff for that. Bears are anticipating for it to be, for the most part, between 18 and 19. So a little bit more volatile than the current implied move, which right now, like I said, is 8.37. So should make for a very fun time. Today we did see a lot of transactions, a little bit on the, I guess, low end overall though, because the volume I think for today was on about 58 million versus the forecast of 71. It wasn't just SoFi though, it was kind of across the board that there was somewhat lower volume. So I think just big money is waiting for data points and companies unveiling the earnings just to give essentially that green light to really move on higher. Aside from that though, you did see a couple big transactions that's somewhat pushing it higher after hours. So 3.1 million and then another 3.1 right there. So pretty good stuff as far as that. Like I said, with it closing at 2102, it landed on this pivot. So 2102 will be a key one. Just take a mental note of this. So let's say you do want to average down or whatever else, or if you want to sell, just take note of these support and resistance points. So 2186, 2239, and 2324 is going to be the next strong target / resistance points. Flip side, 2017, 1964, and then 1880 is going to be the next strong support levels. So based on the options, you can anticipate either the R3 or the S3 being touched. So if you're wanting to buy more, maybe orient towards this S2 or this S3, or if you're wanting to kind of sell, then maybe orient towards the kind of high end. It's a little bit late to do options since the market is closed, unfortunately. But yeah, let me know your general thoughts on that in the comments below. Aside from that one analyst rating, no real articles coming out. So I think everyone's just now holding their breath for SoFi's earnings. And then going into SoFi's earnings, there's no real point talking about much of this aside from the fact that it is oversold because of all the extra volatility. So that could actually stand to benefit it going into this next little bit. So again, that might be a positive. Let me know your general thoughts. Anticipate a lot of volatility, moral of the story. But one key thing though, I do want to bring up though, is that super trend is sitting at 1922. If SoFi does actually close, worst case scenario, below that tomorrow, that will break that super trend and kind of turn somewhat bearish. So meaning algorithmic trading will be trying to suppress SoFi because of that, because algos will be picking up on a trend reversal. So just watch for that ultimately. So let me know your general thoughts. Are you bullish? Are you bearish? For those of you that did options, what did you do? Did you do any covered calls? Did you do anything? I myself, the only thing I did was I did small, I think about 20% of my position. I did sell some covered calls at $25. The rest I'm letting it ride just in case it does somehow, for whatever reason, exceed expectation and decide to go to 28. I don't want to lose all my shares. But yeah, that's the only thing I did. And if it does, for whatever reason, dip, then I'll be buying a little bit more. Actually, my apologies, I did lie. I did sell I think it is September $17 strike price. I sold a put. So if it does, for whatever reason, dip and continue to dip, then I'll buy more there. But yeah, pretty interesting stuff. Should be a fun time. So let me know your general thoughts. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. And then one final thing, pop over to my Patreon if you are looking for some solid buy signals on stocks, options, crypto. And then stay tuned for my video tomorrow where I'll give you a quick overview of data points and my take from their earnings. Of course, I think you already generally know at this stage, I don't really do any live streams on the SoFi earnings or anything like that. So just stay tuned for the video. So with all that, appreciate all of you watching.